Hey guys, and how's it going? And welcome back. Today I have a couple of riding mowers, lawn tractors that were given to me. I got a phone call yesterday and someone was doing a clean out of their house. Bought a new mower and had these two guys that both have issues. And said if you want them, you have them, come get them. So me being the junkyard hoarder that I am, ended up grabbing them. First one's a Toro. I'm not sure what number Toro it is, but it's a 16 horse hydrostatic drive, bagger system, etc., etc. Motor runs on this one. The problem with this one is the transmission is shot. The one side, I'll show you later, but on this side the axle has a bunch of play and all the fluid pisses out of it. You can see all the crap stuck to the wheel, and with that I tried putting fluid in it. It moves, but it makes awfully grinding noises, and it is just on its way out. So that's what is up with that tractor. Other than that, it's a running driving tractor, still needing service. Needs blades and some other stuff. That's that guy. This guy is a Troy built. Yeah, Troy built. I'm gonna guess it's probably around the year 2000 or so. Really complete. Mower deck looks in better shape than the other tractor. That wheel is flipped around. It's supposed to be the other way around. Hydrostatic foot control. And the problem with this one is the hood isn't bolted on, is that. That's not good. So the motor blew up on that one. Engine there is pretty much the same as the one on the other one, except for it's a 16 horse, that one's a 14 horse. So as long as the output shaft is the same correctness, we can take that engine and put it on that tractor, and we'll try to build this one into a functioning machine. So that's the plan. I'm gonna get them in the garage and we'll start from there. So we'll cold start this one and we'll show you kind of the funky noises it makes. I don't know if you're able to hear that over the track, but you hear that awfully. Hydro's making noise, but not that much noise. So again, that one is shot, and hopefully the other one's good. Unfortunately, we have not been able to test run that one, so we're going on good faith that it's okay. So that tractor's up on the lift, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. Well, right here, this axle into this housing rocks up and down a good 1/4 inch. Up, down, forward, and back, and the seal cannot do what it needs to do. So again, all the fluid pisses out. You can see it on the tire right there. And with that, probably ran low on fluid and took the pump part of the hydrostatic and probably overheated it and caused issues there. So with that, again, it's just not worth repairing this rear end and all the other issues it has as far as the mower deck and these blades, and the spindles are sitting on an angle, and you know, how much do you want to put into a $300 tractor? It gotta be realistic. So my opinion of this is to just use this for parts, and we'll fix the other one, and I'll probably sell the mower deck off of this one on Craigslist, and then junk the rest of it once we get what we like off of it. So let me get to getting that bottom pulley off. Right, the mower deck out of our way. We'll get that bottom pulley off and look at it, and we'll make sure that the shaft diameter matches. So I got the mower deck off of it and the bolt out of the bell pulley. And yeah, it ends up in the air. I forgot to show what we got going on here. So that's just kind of showing you what the issue was there. And it's going to need a little bit of tapping to get off the key. See if you can wiggle that sucker out of there. There you go. we'll measure that up, see what that is. And I've gotten under tractor number 2, and a little bit of persuasion. Had to get this one's got a electric PTO clutch set up on it, so I need a little bit of prying to get underneath there. The other shaft is a 1-inch diameter, and so is that one. That should be good. I'm just going to double check the length of it, make sure that they are the same. What we got on that? That looks like 3 1/4, 3.2. Let's make sure that's the same on the other one, and then we can move forward with swapping these guys. I just so happen to have help over here. If you would like to lift that motor off of there, it may come off.
I just want to make sure the wires aren't going to get hung if they're running
Tell you what,
oil fill.
You lift that up, and I will make sure that that is not the issue. Might be a little greasy, grimy.
That's all right.
Tell you what, maybe on that side where all the magic's happening.
It's clear.
You should be.
Where do you want it when
Let's
it's
put it on the ground. That was easy. Good. Now this one can go out to pasture, and we'll swap it around. We'll put the one that's doing a wheelie over there up on the lift, and get that motor off. And probably when that motor's off, we're gonna go pressure wash all the crap off of that, and then we'll start reassembling. It's gonna be light. Sail her away. I think you're dragging on something on that front tire. Something's under it. You got screwed by a screw. Oh, you know what? Hydro's still on.
I mean, I could continue if you'd like.
Yeah, that's way better.
How's that?
Perfect.
Future go-kart. Crash. Perfect.
I wouldn't want to scratch tractor.
Now we gotta go get this one. Wrong way. Watch your fingers. Now it's right. This one set up to roll? Now it is. And it's home. Right about there. So this one's up on a bench, and I'm just trying to look between the two motors to see what the difference is and what I kind of need to go change. And this tractor, the gas tank is in the back, so it has to have a fuel pump, which is a pulse, comes off the breather right there. And the other tractor had the gas tank right up in here, so it's just gravity feed down. So that's one thing that's going to be an issue. I see the oil filter is pointing a different direction than how that one is. Whether that's going to be an issue or not, I'm not sure. Maybe not. And this one I see a screw flapping around. And again, this is the one with the blown rod. So probably get them both on the ground. I want to change probably the tins over and stuff too, just for actually I'm probably going to have to anyway because of the fuel pump mount and everything. And I'm not seeing anything else yet, but I figure between the two of them we should have enough parts to put one together. Just gonna take a little more time than I expected. And the engine probably would have lasted a little bit longer. Change the oil once in a while. And have enough in it for to run. Just about a little over 1.5 quarts. And it's about 4 ounces. And you get to do your thing. Hopefully again. Don't lean it towards you, oil will piss at you. Now what we need is that, with all that stuff on here. I think, like I said, I'm going to drop it back down. We'll hit it with a pressure washer. We'll knock all the heebie-jeebies out of the cruds and crevices, and start with a clean work area. And probably we'll just stick the block up on here, and we'll use this as a work table for swapping stuff over instead of trying to be on the floor. So after it's date with the pressure washer, it looks a little better. And I guess you can tell where the motor was. Make for easy relocation. Looks like it can run probably came with a bunch of different platforms that this chassis can be used for. But we're going to try getting her back as close as we can to what was on there. And without further ado, we're going to go clean that motor up and stick it back on top, put the 4 bolts in it, and then start screwing around with getting all the bits and pieces to fit correctly. And he just came over to hang out. He didn't realize I was going to put him to so much work. Shiny part goes in the hole. Sitting on a wire or anything? Or are we good?
Good.
We're good. We just have to figure out which one's the right ones and run some bolts up. So I got that engine bolted down and starting to get the tins off of it and get a better look. Now the one complaint about this one was the tractor would run for almost exactly 15 minutes and shut off with a big backfire. And then you let it cool down, it would start all over again. He was kind of thinking possibly that the coil was no good and was overheating and shutting off. I'm thinking it's either that or again this one had a mouse nest in it and it's having an issue with the seat is either popping out of it or something along that line. So before I go rip the cylinder head off, I am going to swap the coils from that engine onto here. And one thing I do like about this engine is it's got metal ring gear and a metal starter gear. Or if you look on this one, it's got a plastic ring gear and a plastic starter gear. So longevity is better on the Toro setup than it is on a Troy built. They just ordered them with better components in them than, you know, you can get them at different levels. Just kind of like buying a Home Depot Lincoln welder or buying a Lincoln welder from a Lincoln welder dealer. You get different qualities of things. That kind of shows up true on this too. The original tractor engine had a 1-wire charging system. That guy, if you can see it, it's that one right there. And this one has a 2-wire. They do make like a conversion plug for it, but I'm gonna try popping the flywheel off and we'll change the charge coil setup just so it's the original one that was on it. So the bolt's already loose and I'm just gonna put some pressure on it and try to pop her free. And the phone. And see if we get the flywheel off the junk motor. Little art of persuasion. Trying to get some up pressure on the flywheel and something like that. And now we just need to transfer that guy onto the one on the tractor. So that's our 1-wire one and the 2. And the key is just sitting right out. Let me put that in the magnetic tray. Suck up to a different diameter.
Or a different bolt pattern,
Should be the same.
but like 2 millimeters.
Down, we'll tip that one over all the crap I pull out of it. And hopefully, just drop it right back into place. Back through. Put the tab back where it goes, and now that's something to charge the battery back up. So I'm going to go put probably the good flywheel with the metal teeth back on it. I want to wash it up first. We'll put that back on and start reassembling, and then we have to get into the fuel pump and changing out the side of that so the diaphragm can work. So I bolted the carb and the intake, got that out of the way because this is what we need to access next, which is, this is the breather cover, and this normally just goes to the intake of the carburetor, and it takes whatever crankcase pressure and alleviates it away. We can see that plate, and then this is the one I took off the other engine, how you can see how it has the fuel pump on it, and it's got two outlets. So one goes to the carburetor, but it's got another one that goes up to the fuel pump, and there's the diaphragm inside here. And as the engine spins, it gives little pulses, and that little pulse is enough just to move the diaphragm in the fuel pump, and that gives you your fuel flow going through. So that needs to go there. I don't have the bottom pulley up on it, but everything else is pretty much together enough so that see if it will start and run on the tractor. And let's see how that goes. Hopefully, maybe, possibly. That was the headlights. I'm like, what's on fire? Something's rubbing on the tin. You hear it? And my sheet metal's already rubbing on the fan a little bit. And pop back the carburetor once or twice, but I did not. This is still the same carb that was, I don't even remember anymore. This one may have been the one that was on this tractor. I forget, or the one that was on the other. It was the one that was on this engine. So I'm gonna start find out what's rubbing on that plastic there. We'll take care of that, and then we'll start buttoning the plastic up. I'll put the pulley on underneath, and then we can see if the tractor itself goes back and forth, up and down like it should. Just needs a little up tap right there. Now she's clear. So the introd's all taken care of, the little rubbing noise. Put everything else back together, and also got the clutch hooked up underneath it. And there's another pulley up higher. That's the one that runs the transmission. And then the lower one, the electric. This one's electric on this tractor, is to run the mower deck with an electric switch on and off. Unfortunately, the weather outside is not cooperating. I'd like to kind of take it and run it up and down the driveway, make sure that the trans is good and the mower deck does everything it should. But between the rain and I have this in the way, which is just got sold on Craigslist, so we dragged it out of the house, and that should be getting picked up in about 45 minutes. While we're waiting on that, though, for that stuff to get out of our way, maybe the rain to stop, the hood has a little bit of damage in it, but I do have the pieces that were removed from it, so I figure we'll fire up the soldering iron and do the old poke and melt and put that chunk back in there, and we'll put the hood back on. Let's see how this goes. Humpty Dumpty. Put her back together again. We gotta do it from the back side so it doesn't get as ugly. If I find that it's weak, I'll take it and I'll do the front, but I don't think it's very structural. I think somebody just pulled up to something and smacked into it. Like if it's around where the hinge points were, these guys, then it would really be an issue. But a bunch of guys were last time I did this, we're talking about different things. You could put like fiberglass matting in with it. Someone said screen. I'm trying to think what the other comments were to help bond that together. I found this works pretty good. I think somebody said take tie wraps, melt tie wraps into it. And I think the other one was plastic coat hangers. I guess we'll go that route if this does not work. I think we'll be okay. I have all the other projects in motion and just kind of waiting on time. Meaning the Vespa, the parts are in, have been in for the Vespa. Parts are in for the SL 125, and the parts are in for one other bike too. Kind of skipping my thought process at the moment. But they're coming up. It's just that summertime I'm so busy. This part of the summertime I get so busy. It's kind of hard to have time to work on the toys, you know. Yeah, you guys sick of watching this? I'll bring you back when I'm done. What do you say? We try the tie wraps just for educational purposes, yours and mine. Let's see if this will work. I think someone's also saying that Harbor Freight sells a plastic welding kit or soldering kit, they call it. I can tell you the tie wraps smell a lot worse than the plastic that's on there. Makes a funny sound too. Can you hear that? If I had a plastic coat hanger, I'd try that. Just to see. Seems like it kind of goobers itself in there though, huh? I'm gonna do the rest of it like that. And try not to breathe this and shoot the fan at me maybe. So, I think they're kind of dissimilar plastics, but it does seem like it's kind of melted in there. Probably the best thing would have been to do is just either on another hood or this hood, just like slice off a section of it and use that for a feeding rod, so it would be the same material. And I think also someone made the comment of you can like lay string across it or wire across it and embed that, melt that into it, and it kind of scabs the repair and gives it some strength too. Looks like I got a crack going up there. We should probably hit while we have the opportunity. Well, it's all back together and dropped on the ground, sort of. Not going to take it outside, but we can fire it up and make sure it goes back and forward and the mower deck functions. So the last thing I was also thinking was the Cushman. One of you guys sent me some tires for the Cushman. It was very nice. I'll get into that when that comes back to play, but that was the other motorcycle of sorts that we're talking about getting back into the garage. So let's give this guy a fire up and hopefully it does what it's supposed to. Because if it doesn't, that's going to suck. Well, at least it works. Kinda. So he said it would run for about 15 minutes, get to a certain temperature and shut off, and with the backfire. I have not had that happen. It's been past 15 minutes, but I'm going to go when the weather gets a little nicer, cut my grass with it a couple of times, and we just kind of keep an eye on it. Worst case, if it does have something with an issue with the cylinder head and losing compression along those lines, which is common with these engines, that's why I keep saying it. We still have a whole another spare cylinder head right over here that was functioning, just that the piston and the crankshaft do no longer like to play well together, and they are fighting each other. So that will be taken off no matter what anyway for spare parts and put in my hoard, and for future reference, along with the carburetor and the muffler and the spool pulley and hardware and some other stuff off the tractor, the dead tractor there, the Toro. And the Toro's got some good wheels and stuff on it, so although it's dead, it will keep a bunch of other tractors alive. So it's served its purpose, I guess. This just needs a good cleaning and detailing and make sure everything functions on it, and it's a good, you know, 350 for a mower, all said and done. So we're gonna wrap this one up here, guys. Again, thank you guys for watching, comment, subscribing, and we'll get on those bikes pretty soon, I promise. See ya.